You are not accepted. 3 words, 1 sentence. But that sentence compressed all my 18-year-old self into a single emotion: shame. Fresh out of high school, I applied to one of the most prestigious music universities in Seoul. I was filled with the confidence of someone who had dreamed for years. But I lacked the clarity that comes from true preparation. My application wasn't just paperwork, it was the culmination of late night promises whispered to myself while practicing at a piano, even after we had moved from our home to a semi basement apartment. The result came in the form of a short phone call. We regret to inform you that your application was unsuccessful. The voice on the other end was professional, detached. They had dozens more calls to make that day. Even as my hands trembled, I steadied my voice, said, "Thank you," and hung up. Looking back, I can't name the causes of my failure with calm precision. First, I was studying with the wrong teacher. Second, my goals were unclear. Third, I hadn't yet embraced the discipline this path demanded. And more than anything, I hadn't yet realized how deeply our families collapsed during the 1997 IMF crisis had shattered my focus. We lost so much, but thankfully the piano I practiced on remained with me. It was the only thing I could still hold on to, a symbol of hope amid the crumbling routine. I stayed late at church to practice in secret. At night, I'd come home to find my parents whispering about bills under the cold light of the kitchen. I loved music, loved it with the desperation of the first love. But love alone wasn't enough. And when you're not sure whether your family will have a roof over their head next month, talent means very little. That year was my unfinished symphony, but I didn't stop. Despair was a luxury I couldn't afford. Instead, I turned my energy into focus, determination, and discipline. I found a new teacher, someone whose eyes lit up not when I played perfectly, but when I played truthfully. I set concrete goals and began keeping a daily mistake journal. My aim wasn't just to get into music college, it was to become someone who belonged there. I rewrite the rhythm of my life around harmony, counterpoint, and compositional structure. Mornings began at the piano, midnight ends with score analysis until my eye burned. My hands grew calloused, my breathing changed, deeper, more controlled, listening for the silence between the notes. And then I applied again, and I was accepted to the very school that had once rejected me. But strangely, what I remember most vividly is not that sweet moment of acceptance. It's the failure. That failure taught me what no professor or textbook ever could, that building a life, like composing music, takes structure. That failure taught me what no professor or textbook ever could. That building a life, like composing music, takes structure, dedication, and patience. It's not about luck or inspiration, it's about alignment between who you are and who you are becoming, between what you want and what you are willing to sacrifice for it. Sometimes the most powerful note is the one of you almost didn't hear. That silence, that rejection, it wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of everything.